Dear business partners of Karl Storz, we welcome you warmly to our training Compliance Requirements for Business Partners. Our training will start with a short introduction on what compliance is and which areas are affected. Afterwards, we will take a closer look at the Karl Storz Third-Party Code of Conduct. What is compliance? Compliance can be described as the observation of a company and its representatives to all legal requirements and internal guidelines. The goal of compliance is to minimize the number of infringements of the law in the company and to ensure that conduct in the company complies with all applicable legal and internal requirements. Karl Storz is pursuing this goal via its compliance management system, which aims at preventing possible risks, detecting irregularities at an early stage, and respond adequately. As shown in the diagram on this slide, compliance affects all areas of a company. In addition to the typical compliance areas such as anti-corruption or anti-money laundering, areas such as employee protection, competition law, and tax law are also affected. All of these areas must be brought into line with all applicable legal requirements. We at Karl Storz believe that compliance with legal and ethical requirements is essential to long-term social and commercial success. Hence, the guiding principle of our business activities is to act at all times in compliance with the highest ethical, social, and environmental business standards. Therefore, Karl Storz operates in compliance with all applicable laws, regulations, and agreements. This applies with respect to all Karl Storz locations, products, and/or services, as well to all of our business relationships. Karl Storz expects the same from its suppliers, distributors, agents, representatives, customers, research partners, and other business partners. To ensure that our business partners comply with our understanding of compliance, we have a third-party code of conduct in place. In the following, we will have a look at the respective paragraphs of our third-party code of conduct. First of all, we expect legal compliance. We expect all business partners to comply with all applicable national laws, regulations, industry minimum standards, ILO and UN conventions, OECD conventions, and any other relevant statutory requirements, whichever requirements are more stringent. This applies regardless of whether they are expressly referred to in this third-party code of conduct or other contractual arrangements between Karl Storz and you or not. Besides the legal compliance, we place very high value on ethical behavior. Being honest with each other is essential for developing trusting, long-lasting, and successful business relationships. We expect open communication in our business relationship and encourage open discourse also on critical matters. That's why we don't accept any kind of corruption, extortion, or misappropriation. In terms of anti-corruption, you as a business partner have to make sure that you always comply with applicable local anti-corruption laws and regulations and with international laws that apply to you, such as, for example, the US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, or the United Kingdom Bribery Act, UKBA. Karl Storz expects that each and every business partner bases their decisions solely and on objective criteria. If any factors that may influence the decision based on personal, business-related, or other conflicts of interest, the business partner must disclose the conflict of interest to Karl Storz and the conflict must be eliminated from the outset. In order To comply with our anti-corruption requirements, we ask you to neither offer nor accept bribes, kickbacks, and high-value invitations and presents. Please note that high-value gifts and invitations may give the impression of trying to influence a business decision in an improper manner. Invitations and presents that are of low value and that appear socially appropriate are sometimes permissible under applicable laws and internal policies. These are exempt from the prohibition of accepting high-value invitations or presents. In the following, we will present some examples of invitations or gifts that are better avoided to prevent the appearance of corruption. Others may, however, be accepted without any problems. The business partner offers to provide his son's soccer team with jerseys if Karl Storz promises favorable contractual terms in return. This should be avoided. During an ongoing tender process, a potential future business partner invites Karl Storz employee to the VIP area of a football stadium to join him watching a game of the Karl Storz employee's favorite soccer team while drinking champagne. This should also be avoided. After completion of a joint project, the business partner invites a Karl Storz employee to lunch at a plain cuisine restaurant to review the past project. The employee is in a managerial position. Lunch, including drinks, is 40 euros per person. This is allowed. After completion of a joint project, the business partner invites a Karl Storz employee to dinner at a top restaurant to review the past project. He also addresses a new Karl Storz project that will be tendered by Karl Storz in the future. The employee is in a managerial position. Dinner, including wine, is 500 euros per person. This should be avoided. During a business meeting, a Karl Storz employee offers some cookies and a cup of coffee to the business partner. After termination of the meeting, the Karl Storz employee invites the business partner to take the pencil, which has a Karl Storz logo on it, she has used with her. This is permissible. At Karl Storz, we are committed to a fair and competitive market system. That's why it's important to always adhere to national and international commercial and custom laws and antitrust and competition laws. To comply with these requirements, we expect our business partners to avoid certain activities such as price fixing, market segmentation, trading restrictions, or non-transparent market practices. In the context of a business relationship, it is not only important to us how our bilateral relationship is, but also how our business partners behave in their dealings with their employees and other third parties. Therefore, we do not tolerate child labor, which means that each employee must be at least 16 years old unless an exception applies under local laws. We expect that our business partners observe and We expect that our business partners observe and comply with the International Labour Organization (ILO) conventions. Further, we do not tolerate any kind of forced labor. Each employee must voluntarily do his work in personal and/or working papers, as well as salaries may not be retained to exert pressure on the employee. In the context of dealing with employees and third parties, we expect equality, no discrimination, and respect. All employees should be treated equally in the context of hiring conditions and process, remuneration, access to trainings and education, promotion and termination, and retirement. Equal treatment also means that we condemn any kind of discrimination, irrespective of race, color, gender, and sexual orientation, age, religion, civil status, social, ethnical, or national background, disability, pregnancy, membership in employee associations, or political affinity. We expect from our business partners a comprehensible calculation of salaries and wages and regulations regarding overtime. Salaries and wages have to be calculated in accordance with the applicable minimum legal requirements, must be paid without undue delay and in a manner consistent with local payment regulations, and they must be paid in full. Salary deductions are inadmissible if they are not provided for in national legislation or are made as a disciplinary measure. If overtime is required, it must be in compliance with national laws, customary industry standards, or relevant international standards, whichever provides greater protection in terms of health and safety. We believe that the mental and physical health of every employee is of utmost importance, and thank you for sharing our approach. To support this approach, safety at work must be ensured in compliance with national health and safety regulations. Accidents and health damages caused by or associated with the work shall be prevented by minimizing the reasons as far as possible, and working conditions must ensure that the compatibility of work and private life is ensured for the employees. In the context of environmental protection, we want to face up to our responsibility and also commit our business partners. Regarding waste management and recycling, you must ensure that all procedures and standards for waste management, handling and disposal of chemicals and other hazardous substances, and waste gas and wastewater treatment meet or exceed minimum legal requirements. You should strive to develop and implement environmental management and monitoring procedures to contribute to recycling and reuse of materials, products, and to use environmentally friendly technologies. We also expect that required environmental permits are obtained, complied with, and kept up to date, and that requirements and reporting obligations are adhered to. Another increasingly relevant aspect is trade secret protection and data privacy, which requires a responsible data management of our business partners. This means that confidential data must be protected and used only for proper purposes. Personal data must be handled carefully and in compliance with the existing regulation standards, used only for permissible and operational purposes, and deleted when it is no longer needed. This applies to all data received from Karl Storz, processed within your own company or delivered to other third parties, such as subcontractors. Our third-party code of conduct should not be limited to our business partners, but should also apply to your business partners, such as your subcontractors. Every business partner is obliged to ensure that subcontractors comply with the rules as set out in the third-party code of conduct, especially with respect to human rights and environmental aspects. Any kind of violation of the third-party code of conduct conducted by subcontractors and/or their employees or representatives must be reported immediately to Karl Storz. To control if our business partners comply with the rules under our third-party code of conduct, every business partner is obliged to conduct audits and evaluations on a regular basis. Karl Storz is further obliged to conduct formal audits itself or by third parties if need be. In the case of violations, serious consequences may occur, such as accreditation withdrawal, termination of the business relationship, and/or the notification of local authorities of unlawful conduct. If you get aware of any violations of international or national laws and regulations or Karl Storz guidelines or any other irregularities, we strongly encourage you to get in touch with us. You can either use our compliance hotline, which is available online or by telephone. if wished also on an anonymous basis. Or you may send an email to compliance@karlstorz.com. The compliance hotline may also be used for questions related to our code of conduct. Thank you a lot for reading our third-party code of conduct carefully and for participating in this training. We are very happy that you share our core principles, and thank you.